I'm Rachel Poe, Program Developer at Conner Prairie, and today I'm going to make a dish for you that is a staple in our family's celebrations. I'm going to make some chicken curry. This is a recipe that is generally requested on birthdays, and whenever I make it, I tend to take a picture and send it to my family as if to brag about what I'm eating, and they might not be. So here we go with some chicken curry. The first thing I always do when I'm making my chicken curry is to start my rice maker. That way it should be done about the time that the dish itself is done. The first ingredient for the curry is this onion. We are going to finely dice it. Ta-da! It's diced. If your onion isn't quite as finely diced as that, that's okay. We're going to turn our burner to about medium heat. And then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of butter, that's 3/4 of a stick, into our pot, add the onion, and let it saute. So here goes my 6 tablespoons of butter into the pot. Starting to melt, that's good, that's good. And we'll put in the onions once it gets fully melted. Butter is melted, in go the onions. While those onions are sauteing, I'm going to prepare the other things that will go in the curry. There's lots of time to do this because it's going to take a while for those onions to get clear. I am going to check in on it and stir it occasionally just to make sure that nothing's burning. We're going to premix 1/2 cup of flour, and our curry powder. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of curry powder and 1 tablespoon of cumin. Now cumin, if you don't have this, that's fine. It's kind of optional, just adds a little bit of a richer flavor. So we're going to put a tablespoon of each into our flour and kind of mix it up so that when we add it to our onions, it will help thicken everything up nicely. In goes the curry powder. In goes the cumin. And I'm just going to kind of get it all mixed up here. I'm right-handed, so I'm holding the camera with my right hand and stirring with my left, and as you can see, I'm not really the best at it. To the spice mix, we're also going to add just a dash of salt. Almost forgot it. When we check on our onions, we can see that they are softening up. They're not quite to clear stage yet, so we're going to let those go a little bit longer and get some other ingredients ready. After we add our spice and flour mixture to thicken it up, we're going to even it out again by adding this liquid. It's 3 cups of liquid, part milk, part chicken broth. I filled it up between 2 and 3 cups with chicken broth, and then the rest of the way up with milk. There's no exact measurements as long as it's 3 cups total. All right, our onions look pretty good. They're starting to kind of brown up. That'll give us some good flavor. So the next thing we're going to do is add our flour and spice mix and give it a stir. It is going to get kind of pasty, that butter mixing with the flour. And you can also start to see that gorgeous yellow color that this dish ends up being. So this does not look terribly appetizing right now at this stage, but that's okay. We're letting those spices kind of cook, releasing some of their flavor. We're going to let it go for just another tiny bit. And then we're going to add our 3 cups of liquid. Now we're going to stir it up and kind of try to break up those lumps, make it a nice smooth mixture. And then we're going to sit and let it thicken. All right, so I've mixed it up and you can see that the onions are still there. They're not completely coated in the flour and spice mixture that's kind of mixed in with the other liquid, but it's still pretty milky. So we're gonna keep the stove on medium, and we're just gonna let this cook and thicken. All right, so while those onions are cooking, you might be wondering why chicken curry is a dish that ended up on my plate, a nice little Hoosier girl here in the middle of Indiana. Well, it turns out it's actually a pretty interesting story. Both of my parents, completely separate from each other and at different points in their lives, lived in Indonesia as missionaries. My dad's family was there as a medical missionary. My mom's family there as just a regular, Christian missionaries. So there was a day when my mom's family went over to the Zuberink family, a Presbyterian missionary family, and they had this lovely dish. It was called Singapore curry. And my grandmother liked the dish so much that she got the recipe and took it home. And it's traveled through the generations down to me. And so a Singapore curry from Indonesia through my family ended up on my plate. And hopefully now it'll come to your plate too. All right, you can see it's starting to get a little bit thicker. Before it sets all the way, I'm going to add one of the title ingredients in this dish, the chicken. Ta-da! The rotisserie chicken from your grocery store is probably one of the greatest things ever invented. We're just going to rip maybe about half of this chicken off into bite-sized chunks and put it right into the curry. Here we go. Just get right in there and rip that chicken out. So I've got about half a chicken in there. I used a combination of light meat, dark meat. I avoided the skin. You can see how this is getting nice and thick. It's not quite as thick as we want it to be yet, so we'll keep it going. I did turn down the temperature to about medium-low. And as you stir it around, you can kind of make up your mind if you need more chicken or not, but that looks about right to me. Now, if you're worried about this curry being spicy, don't. There's nothing spicy in here. I myself am not a spicy food person, so you don't have to worry about this being a spicy dish. So it's a little bit thicker now. I did turn the temperature down even more, so I won't have to worry about burning quite so much. Right now, we're pretty much waiting for the rice to be done cooking. So while we're waiting for the last little bits, I'm going to talk about toppings. This is the part that's probably going to seem the weirdest, but these are what we put on our chicken curry. Pineapple chunks, which I like, but my husband doesn't. Raisins, bananas, and peanuts. Listen, I know it sounds super weird to put pineapple, bananas, raisins, and peanuts onto curry, but that's just how we always eat it. I will say that the rest of my family also likes to put shredded coconut on theirs. I think shredded coconut is super gross. I don't even bring it into my house. It's not wanted. It's not needed. It don't come in. So you can try some experiments, see what you like. If you're a little bit nervous, I would suggest peanuts and raisins first. Bananas are a really interesting textural and flavor profile add. Pineapple, I think, also adds a lot to it. If you like pineapple on pizza, which I do, then you will probably also like pineapple on your chicken curry. I'm not going to think any less of you, however, if you make chicken curry, don't put anything on it and just eat it plain, because it's really, really good. So have fun, play around with your toppings, and enjoy your chicken curry. Still waiting on the rice cooker. I'm having a couple peanuts just to tide me over until it's ready. All right, the rice has gone from cooking to keep warm, which means it's done. Look at how beautiful that is. Nice and fluffy. So I'm gonna get some rice into my bowl. A couple scoops or a little bit more. I tend to have this problem with chicken curry where I will always, always, always get more than I really need, but I eat it all anyway. It's just that good. So after the rice, on goes the curry. Beautiful. And then we'll add some toppings. I've added raisins, peanuts, banana, and pineapple. So I've got everything on there. You can see the raisins, peanuts, banana, pineapple. This is going to be really good. So here I am with the final product. Now I tend to just mix everything up all together so that everything is kind of more evenly distributed. And I'm going to take my first bite here. I mean, to me, there's nothing better. This dish reminds me of home. It reminds me of family. It reminds me of my mom cooking dinner for us after she would come home from teaching a day in the 4th grade classrooms. It's just, there's no food I think that I like better. This is one of my desert island dishes. So I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make chicken curry. I hope you make some at home. And if you do, make sure to tag Conner Prairie in any pictures or video that you take. We'd love to see you cooking this food, and we hope that you have a really great day.